a rich man's world. I have turned the soul of this beautiful land, but that beauty, a rich man's world. I have turned the soul of this beautiful land, but a rich man's world. I have turned the soul of this beautiful land, but that beauty, a rich man's world. A rich man's world, beautiful land, but a rich man's world. I have turned the soul of this beautiful land, but a rich man's world. I have turned the soul of this beautiful land, but that.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Trey Ferg, the player coach. I want to thank you all for joining me today. And again, like always, I want to give a shout out to all my veterans, all my military personnel around the world, keeping us safe. Hope that you can make it home to your family soon. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Trey Ferg, the player coach. And I want to thank y'all for joining me today. Today is just a random Tuesday. And I just wanted to, do a live about this world that we living in and the possibilities that we can embark upon is, a really unique time. We're looking to make some history again within the United States and I would say the world also, Again, we're just in a unique space. We could possibly have a woman president. We've had a first woman vice president, and we could possibly have a woman as president and a black woman at that. So there's two ways you can weigh in on it, and her race is yet to be, determined by, her. So it's just unique. She's light enough, They say us light skin privileges can help in a sense, and she is a woman and she is light enough. So it's just unique. Again, time. Haven't had a black man even, I guess, get into position outside of who I believe Jesse Jackson. Well, the doctor was in a few debates, but that was, I don't know, just seemed like that was all just a show. You have a non-politician go up against 8 to 10 other career, politician, business-oriented guys, and they all lose to him. So that's unique within itself. So, here we are, basically 8 years later. We've been through a lot in the past 8 years, a whole lot. Think about it. We've had life-threatening disease. We've had war 3 to 4 years consistently. We've had a high number of how you pronounce it? LGBTQ. See, I can't even pronounce it because it wasn't in my DNA or in our language growing up. Just that lifestyle has evolved to a higher level and is starting to reach into the masses of education, the indoctrination, which is scary for all parties. It's very scary. Excuse me, you have to forgive my dog. Doggy. And she wants some attention. And here we are, in it again, a unique space in America. It's very unique, we, again, just been involved with wars outside of America, but there is a war of socialization within America. Again, we survived the COVID. However, it was implemented. They've changed the laws as far as abortions. Seems to be a split. Hold on one second. I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that interruption. My dog was a little rowdy, and she's a German Shepherd, a puppy, and she gets a little rambunctious. I have to sort of get it together. So if you ever owned a German Shepherd, yeah, if you have some pointers, please do not hesitate to let me know. Again, just back to what I was saying about this time in America, modern history. We have an opportunity to make some great changes. We have an opportunity again to make history, which I believe is going to happen, even with both parties. If Trump is reelected, then that'll be the first time in I don't know how many years that a president was president, I don't know if he lost or just didn't run, but then he came back years later and ran again and won again. So I think, again, if Trump does that, that'll be another history-making moment. If Kamala is voted president, light-skinned, black, well, it's hard to say because she identified non-black. So whatever she claims, I understand she's married to a white guy. So, yeah, that gets a little murky for them because they're always going to go to what their husbands say. So it is what it is. So, she can make the first in history to become a female president, which is unique. And she's going to be in charge or representing the one of the world leaders per se, as they say, top two or three. I don't know if they have number one, but maybe two or three, in going around the country and telling sort of other leaders of those countries how to move and operate their governments. And if she takes the message of the LGBTQ and say implement these lifestyles, then I think it'll be a scar on her record forever. I think it'll be a very bad scar. So it's interesting to see. I mean, I ain't gonna say I'm excited, but I'm very interested in seeing what the policies are. You know, Trump has some policies that may or may not be congruent with, the majority of rich folk. And also, he's known to make some shady deals in a sense. Sometimes I don't think he was a very good businessman. But I do believe, when it came to operating from, he just wasn't a very good businessman. That's for sure. And, just his policies on that, in a sense, because I don't think he really ran on anything the last election. He didn't have to come with, hey, this is what I can do with the country and moving it forward. It was a bunch of, hey, these people have made lots of mistakes.
It's 20 hours.
And how can, I can make it better. Let's make it great. But again, it's like his whole plan was underhanded, having personal records from the White House at your personal property. That's criminal. I don't care what nobody say. You go take a file from the White House home and put it in your closet and go tell somebody at work that you got a file at home. See what happens to you. And Trump is, again, his business ethics go around the globe, not just in America, because he has Trump Towers in several countries. And whether he was operating in good faith or not, those towers are pretty much still in operation. Maybe not to the full capacity, but still in operation. So it's just interesting to see that how today, he's able to run for president and has millions of dollars in support from, again, wealthier individuals, some politicians. So in a sense, it seems like he's a bad guy, but he has a team of bad guys also. He has a team. And he has a team on both sides. So just because they wear a different color don't mean they don't play for the same team. What are the three colors of America, of the flag? Think about it. The red, the blue, and what goes in the middle? The white. So it doesn't matter what side they on, the red or the blue. In the middle is the white. So, hey, it's just my take. Again, my doggy is hearing noises outside. Just my take on the political arena, how I have viewed it since, coming back from the Gulf War and seeing how outside of America operates. Let me get it. Hold on 1 second. What happened? Oh, damn. That's crazy. Again, I do apologize. My doggie, she was acting out. Somebody was close to the property. You may be able to hear some noise in the background. But yeah, I had to get her together because she's very protective. She's very protective of the home. So yeah, back to what I was saying about, just the presidential upcoming election. It's a unique time in history for all of us. It's a very unique time. And my neighbors, they always wait till late to start to cut their grass. But, we still have a lot of need for the country. I think our need has almost doubled, if not tripled, over the last 4 to 6 years of just American need. Because again, think about it. Since the president, Trump's sort of last year, almost year and a half in office, COVID hit. We had a new president being elected. He's allocated double the resources to basically co-sign for other countries to emulate war and support war, fighting, killing of innocent people. They've taken resources, whatever level of resource, let's just say farming. They've increased the price on almost damn near every product in American stores. And some have increased from maybe 2 or 3% to over 25, 35, 40%. And the working American, whether you're black or white, they're working the hell out of us. They are working the hell out of you. They are damn near breaking your back for pennies on the dollar. For pennies on the dollar. Both sides. Both sides. It's almost like regardless of where you live at, whatever neighborhood, it doesn't matter. They've increased interest rates of everything, major purchases. Now they've been able to implement, I think COVID sort of wanted to put them again under almost 100 light years ahead of the average American citizen. I think COVID was a reset for the bureaucracy. I do. I know a few deaths, a few people lost their lives during that time, and a lot of it was attributed to COVID-19. And I don't think the average citizen, I don't think we were well informed about really how dangerous it could be, or if it's just something that you can get over. I think it attacks your immune system, and if your immune system is already compromised, then yes. Because what brought me to this analogy, because I've always suspected like how some people get it and they're okay, some are not. So, but then here you have a guy and the president, Joe Biden, who's 80 something years old down there, walking around, eyes turning black, can barely, Mitch McConnell the same way. And President, he just had it the week he backed out. What they say, take 3 days off and come back. So, it's just a lot of suspicion with me. I could be totally off base with it, but just the way things play out and my understanding of America and how it operates, I learned a lot in the Gulf War, being in the Middle East at such a young age, having the opportunity to travel throughout the country of Saudi Arabia, being this close to the combat zone, listening to people of higher rank, generals, majors, Understanding how to move and operate, as a unit, as a progressive unit, creating the different levels of attack. I was able to, well, I guess sort of like by default, be in those places listening to those individuals speak about, you know, whatever motivation we had being in that part of the country, part of the world. And it was just unique to me because when we went to fight for Saudi Arabia owed us trillions of dollars. We took all our technology over, capped off all the oil wells. Hussein set on fire about 80 of them. Used to be a cloud of black smoke just. And then you had the burn pits where they were burning a lot of equipment, a lot of old stuff so they can usher in the new, just dump it in the ground and just set it on fire. So I was in that zone. I was in that area. And I don't know. I believe I was affected by it because they had us taking shots like a pin. Like, yeah, it was a lot. I was there. I seen it every day. Woke up to it. 125 degrees by noon. You know, so it was just a lot during that time. And when I saw that, it's like my whole world just opened up. I told myself I'm gonna live free forever. Although my home country is the United States, that's all I know, but I knew I was gonna live free. It wasn't anywhere in the world that I would not be afraid to go. Now, whether I want to go, that's something different. But as far as if I get opportunity and had opportunities, I'm going. You know, a lot of my opportunities, I just took advantage of it. I didn't necessarily have to be around friends and family and people I knew to go be with other people that looked like me. Didn't have to do it. It didn't matter what they were light skinned or dark skinned to me. Yeah, if you had a big nose and big lips, yeah, we the same. We're just different. Because my mom was she was 3 shades darker. My dad was 1. You know, so I got a mixture of both. Her parents were light skinned and dark skinned. My father's parents were medium light skinned, not as light as me. And I just took who I was, you know, nobody special. And just took advantage of my opportunities. I went to college out of high school when they said go to college. Okay, went to college. Had me a little scholarship. Thought I was going to play football because I played football in high school. It was pretty decent. I was honorable mention All-State 2 years in a row. And my team didn't win a lot either. But it was just in me. My father played football. He played, I think, guard or something, but he wasn't no 6'4". He was 5'11", 5'10", 215, 20 pounds. That was it. He made All-State, won state championships. Me, I just picked football up. Once I picked it up, I was in love with it. I was 7 when I first played on my school team, not school team, but Pee Wee team. I actually played equipment, 7. But I remember playing football from 7, even in the summer times. We used to have a little football league playing in front yards. I think I told the story, but yeah, it was just very unique. And I went to college, wanted to play football, hurt my knee. Football was just another, you know, something that I guess a dream deferred. I got into coaching very early. Actually, I joined the military when I was down in Texas. When I got back from the Gulf War, got into coaching. Always been inspired by coaching. I've never had a losing team coaching. Never. I started out with flag, of course. Then I went to tackle ever since. Basketball, male and female. So it was just unique, you know, being a coach, being the only coach, and still winning, still showing, you know, players having success. So I've always sort of been proud of that in a sense. Got into coaching. That went pretty well. Continued to coach up until I retired. I'm currently also just I put in a few applications, hopefully for basketball, football. Football just started, so we'll see. I just need something to do so I can get outside the house and help somebody, especially some young people, old people, adults. I don't know. But the youngsters, yeah, I do that every day. Working with older people, I won't do it for free. Younger people, if I'm coaching, I can get paid. So, yeah, that's cool. But, just taking all those things, understanding the world, how it operates, going to Saudi Arabia, the Middle East. I had the opportunity just in my unit, France, Germany, where else? I think we went to Spain. It was cool. I just observed. I didn't, get caught up in. And during that time, and it's crazy because during that time, especially while we were moving around Saudi Arabia, we couldn't take no pictures. So I just got into my mind, even now, I don't have I have pictures, but just not everywhere I've gone, because I've gone to some beautiful places. It's just all in my head. Really. It's just all in my head. There's some places that I just refuse to go. Well, I ain't gonna say I refuse to go. It's just the places that I've gone, I've cherished it. I've been able to speak to people of different languages, and I didn't understand anything, but I never felt threatened. Never felt like anybody was going to attack me. I respected the rules of the land. Whatever the rules of the land were, that's what I respected. Only way they could probably tell if I was an American is if probably the clothes I had on. And I wasn't I got to have this name and label. If it was a leather shoe, I was good. Nice little short set, nice little iron shirt, iron shorts, I was good. Yeah. Always just respectful of the different cultures and civilizations and societies that were around the world. And I've had a great time. I've had a ball. I've had a ball. I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't change it for the world. And just taking advantage of my world, Now, my next trip, I'll say, let me see, if by God's grace that when my wife retires, we're going to go straight to the motherland and probably spend quite a bit of time in all the areas that are green. I think we're going to start over here in the east and, in the west, and just circumnavigate around to the east and, go check out some, I don't think I'm going to go, I don't need to go see the lions and the tigers and all of that, because it's enough people out there watching them. I don't need to be a part of that, because when they want to, they'll just go and delete one and put it up on their mantle. That's not in my nature. But I do want to go into a few villages and talk to the people and, see what their culture is. Just experience that. I think we're going to, take all three. I don't know how many DNA tests are out there. We're going to take 2 or 3 and just sort of pinpoint, see how they cross-check each other, and just try to go there and see if I can find some light skins that look like me. I know it's one. So, it'd be interesting. We're just preparing for that. We got a few years, so it'll be right on time. About another 7 years, we'll be ready. So I'm just preparing it, trying to learn as much as I can, stay away from, I'm going to try to go to every spot. even if it's at least one dangerous place where they consider it dangerous. Just go see, and maybe, if I got something to give, I might just give it to a little kid or something. Give them a little something. I don't know. It's a long way away, but again, I'm excited, preparing for it. And, but again, even those abilities and capabilities to move freely around the world are going to be very different. It's going to be very different. What's up, brother Soapbox, man? Salute to you, man. Appreciate you, man. Just stopping by, man. Just stop. Appreciate you, man. And, so regardless of where you're going to live within the United States, for sure, life is going to be different. For sure, life is going to be different, because even with, again, the Democratic nominee, there's wars going on. Are you going to continue to contribute American resources to fund a war playing big brother to, I think, Israel and all of those people, Palestine, but you still being second fiddle to big boy Russia? It's weird. It's wild. I mean, yeah, you provide the resources and you send the money you could give to the citizens, I would say. You can listen, it's an easy fix. To me, it's an easy fix. But again, I don't know, I don't even call it democracy. It's more like this capitalist living is running supposedly one of the most powerful nations in the world, in the ground. Quick, fast, in a hurry. It's literally, and even looking at it, is it a plan? Because now people are privy to more information. They are trying to exclude certain languages and information with this AI. The AI is taking a lot of words that could seem derogatory to certain people, certain lifestyles, and dismissing it. And then when it goes into the text different, then that's what'll be pushed to the next generations who haven't started reading yet. When they get the information, that's all they're going to be reciting, is the new language that's presented to them. Us old people will still be talking about words that they have no understanding or don't see. And you'll be trying to teach your child about these languages, and they'll be like, but in school is nothing. Well, hopefully that there will be public schools, because funding for public schools is going down. Every year is going down. And again, Donald Trump, we don't know. Well, he had a policy of trying to get the wall built, and he spent, again, bad businessman. He spent millions of dollars creating just a steel half wall. It's something to play with. They get out there and, keep people jobs. I can understand, But he did, in a sense, but again, to some degree, in a sense, he tried to control the United States borders a little bit more, slow down on all of these business transactions, slow down on people just coming over here with the dollar and buying it out. But I don't think he has the leverage, because America has no natural resources. People don't use coal anymore. I don't know if America has enough oil under its surface like Saudi Arabia, as we've seen how they're starting to implement their wealth, and we are in debt to them over $34 trillion and rising every second, every day. Just my understanding. Tell me if I'm wrong. But again, I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. Please hit the like, share, subscribe to Trey Ferg at the Player Culture, ladies and gentlemen. Like, share, subscribe to Trey Ferg at the Player Culture, ladies and gentlemen. So it's just interesting. It's just interesting. Sorry about that. I'm tripping. But yeah. So I just don't know, you know. I'm looking at the upcoming time in the political race right now. I'm looking for some policies from both parties. You know, I'm looking to see what the agendas are, which could be very, very, very different for both. I'm looking to see how the average citizen is going to get, I guess, compensated for his hard work. I'm looking for those policies and agendas to be addressed. For Trump, he's going to have to figure out this good old boy mentality. He's going to have to figure that out because as it comes to African Americans, I think we're totally split down the middle. And even though we're split, we still could impact the election. And him and Kamala are going to have to figure out a way to come and talk to the African American male. They're going to have to figure out a way. They're going to have to figure out something that could sort of set the playing field just a little bit. Just set it a little bit. Just reset it for the African American male a little bit. And I think that would be probably America's greatest feat in the last 100 years. If it could implement something that could change the dynamic of African American men. Now, again, these are just my views. This is what I believe. I'm not saying I identify with the Democrats or Republicans or the liberals or whatever. I'm just speaking from a light-skinned brother, born and raised in the Mason-Dixon line, who's taking advantage of whatever little opportunities America has granted, and even made a lot of mistakes in the same land that my great-grandparents lived on. So my views are surely my views, and I'm not asking anybody to agree with me. Everything I do is just for, I guess for, I would try to say inspirational purposes, but I doubt it. If it's inspirational, I doubt it. So, but again, I see the world sometime, I know a little different. Am I right? No, not all the time. Not all the time, but from what I've seen and just working with people who do a lot to keep America moving and functioning, yeah, a lot of times I'll be right in the end. May not be immediate, may take a year, a couple of years down the road, but I've seen it quite a few times in my favor. So, and again, I'm still having to navigate through it because, man, I made a lot of mistakes. I do. As far as people that I've came in contact with over my life, no. None of those people are mistakes. So let me be clear. When I say mistakes, I'm not talking about people. Because anything that I did as an adult, that's my fault. the good and the bad, because I made the decision to go along with it. So I can't say it was somebody else's. You know, how they treat me after the fact, then yeah, that's on them. They're gonna have to deal with that. But as far as in that moment, nah, I don't say, oh man, I wish no, I don't think like that. Now, if I did something stupid when it came to some money or just, I don't know, yeah, I was like, man, I shouldn't have did that. But that was pretty much when I was younger. Now, I'm a little bit more financial literate and think out certain things. And I'm in a, different position in life, a different level, as you say. And I've always believed that in my helping of others has blessed me beyond anything I could have imagined. Despite the things that I go through personally, I surely believe that me being me and helping others has blessed me. It has blessed me. Yes, it has blessed me. And I equate a lot of it to just starting to pay attention to, I guess, everybody had civics and sociology in high school. And I think civics was a good class because it taught you about different cultures and different just civilizations, how they move, culture, societies. Everybody has a little society, regardless of what race they are. So, so there's socialist issues. Everything is a little different, but similar. And when I understood just how to, barter and communicate and respect and build and grow, nothing has ever stopped me from doing anything except myself. Sometimes I didn't want to do certain things, but it was just a unique time in my life always, Like I said, I'll talk about my families and, my mother and father. My father was what he was. He was a character. My mother, very loving. She made some mistakes, but as far as the way she treated her children, I don't think any woman can compare. The stories I've heard, nobody can compare to my mother, the way she treated her children. I don't think. And I'm sure there was mothers that did it, but I'm not going to my mother's number one. Your mother may be number one, yes. So, but as far as, So, my father, I don't know if he's on my list of, I'll say this. If I'm going to have a list of heroes, my father's probably number 2 or 3. After Muhammad Ali, my father would be number 3. He'd be number 3. He'd be Muhammad. And I'm serious. Muhammad Ali, just because, he always had that fight. We grew up in the same city, walked some of the same blocks. He taught me that fight, be positive. And I was a kid watching him confront the world. And then when I went to see the world, I'm like, shit, that's who I'm going to be. So I appreciate that, that, yes. And then my grandfather, my mother's father, he was a hardworking man, sharecropping man, owned property, created generational wealth for his children, and he had 7 daughters, and all of them were married. All 7 daughters. It was wild. And at a young age. So I was like, man, that's cool. When we would have our family get-togethers and picnics, it was all married. Well, I ain't gonna say every child was a married child, but it was all married couples, married people. And my father was totally different from the rest of my uncles. They used to play golf and all that. My father wasn't a golf guy. He was a football, sports, basketball type of guy. He didn't play golf. My uncle's almost shit. I remember him showing up in damn dress pants and button-up shirts. My father be over in his tennis shoes and shorts and, looking like he's ready to have a little summertime. But I didn't hear a lot of politics talked in my home. I didn't hear a lot of that. I didn't hear a lot of politics talked in my family. You know, if it was as a young man, I didn't listen to it. You know, well, I heard it in school, but as far as adults' conversation, that's what I mean. I didn't listen to what adults was talking about. You know, unless I had a little, you know, a little close up or something. But other than that, I was outside, being a young boy, playing sports, competing against other boys. You know, teenage years, had girlfriend. You know, doing too much, way too much, way too much. But wouldn't change any of it for the world. You know, could go, move around, with no violence, you know, with no brothers, you know, just deleting each other in that capacity. That was something that would have been considered a little weird. Like, what's wrong with him? Why is he going around, you know, hurting other people? You know, and this, it was a good time. You know, there was some drugs, there was some, you know, criminal elements. You know, even the streetwalkers had pimps, had protection, I would say. Now, you can point your finger at either one. However, a guy that has the mind control of a female in her 20s, 30s, shit, I don't know, maybe 40s. That's crazy. And a woman who will put herself in a painstaking fucking environment intentionally. That was weird. So, because even as they've taken out now see, this is crazy. The brothers was the pimps, but Tom, they could have a whole brothel out in the middle of the desert and just everybody driving through can go over and pay a couple of $100 and get what they can get. But he's a businessman. Who Hugh Hefner promoted the Playboy Bunny. That's his logo. That's his brand. He's a billionaire businessman. He's marrying women that could be his grandbaby's grandbaby. But he's a businessman. See the difference? So, here we are in the modern time. I think we could possibly take a step back. If things go the way they are headed, from my eyes, my 4 eyes, I think we're going to take a step back. And I'm speaking for both America and the Black community, because by default, we have to take a step back living in America. They're going to ensure that we take a step back by default. If America's affected, then of course the African American community, Black community, Negroid community, Afro community is going to be affected. Is going to be affected. A large majority. Let's just say they say it's 40 million. Okay. 30 million, 35 will be drastically affected if America takes a step back. If America goes into just prioritizing everything and everybody's working a business without government intervention, it'll be total chaos. Total chaos. Because again, most Americans don't have money for resources and they don't have the collateral, because the barter system, what collateral do you have? If I produce a good for you, you must produce a good to me at even exchange. It used to be something it used to be called cash on delivery. That's what it is. COD, cash on delivery. When I bring my product to you, you must pay me. Whether you're going to pay me if I accept crypto, whether you're going to pay me in dollar bills, gold, silver, whatever you're going to pay me in, silk, you have to produce it on hand in that moment. Not, oh, let me go get it. It's in the back of, it's over my mama's house, over my sister. No. that type of business won't work, and it will bankrupt the entire country. It will do that. However, we have two people fighting for it. It's basically up in the air right now. It's going to stay 50-50 to the last 2 weeks. Back and forth, back and forth. And both parties could create a total chaos in the black community. Both parties. Both parties. Because Trump could possibly split the vote. Well, the vote is going to be split a great deal. However, he's a guy that lets you know, I'm out to get your ass. Y'all didn't vote me in last time. Because he went for those states of colored people. Okay, y'all gets nothing if I'm re-elected. And he had that, again, he's big on making a show. He's going to show up, make sure he has his long trench coat on and take a good photo. He's going to take the photo at the opportunity. Just like the Catholic Church, he held up the Bible. Come on, man. You make a mockery. But he will do that. He will make a show. He will have his enforcers there. It's going to be all a bunch of big white guys, 6'5" and taller. That's it. Ain't going to be no, I don't think no black person going to be on that team. You know, a major flaw with Trump also. A major flaw. And I think this is where the working man could change the dynamic. The pastors at these churches don't speak for the majority of African Americans. And just visiting them, it won't work. It won't work. Just visiting, churches, it won't work. Now, here's a unique thing about Trump. Trump is for no abortions. So naturally, just by default with that, most black women may not choose to vote for him. But then you look at the behavior. Are you saying you don't want him in because if he says no abortions, then you don't want him in because you want to still have abortions? Or what? Do you want to say, I want to be able to go out and make these mistakes and then be excused from my behavior? Because that's all he's doing. He's putting the accountability on the individual. And let's just say he does go along with the women's majority, right? What they're going to do with your welfare is they're going to cut your welfare off. So either way, you're going to lose the race because they're not going to continue to end. Or I can see that now when you go, well, I guess they'll pay for it. If a woman wants to have it, then she must pay for it, not the man or whatever. It'd be like, you want to have it? And I can see them doing that, charging about $10,000. And sisters will lose their mind. Or they may just blow their little kids' college funds like he ain't going to school. Everybody ain't made for college. And spend it. Maybe, maybe not. That's just mine. As far as the brothers, I think if brothers want to make any change as far as opportunity, now is the best time to sort of start galvanizing those thoughts. We can't be arguing about what somebody, I don't know. It's, we argue about respect and lack of respect, and it just looks funky especially in the generational gaps. In those age gaps, the respect looks a little funky. We talk about, and we're still focusing on the women and how they treat us. And again, that looks a little gray, with murky waters. Not gray, it's just murky. And we still don't have a fair chance when, if we do have children with these women and without relationship and marriage, we still have the courts that will still lock you up, take away your certifications, take away your passports, take away a whole lot from you. Lie to you in court unless you, and then they'll make you pay for an attorney because they all work together. You'll pay an attorney $5,000 and $6,000, $10,000. That's money that could be going to your child. The woman won't get it because she's so caught up in her emotions and feelings about it, because also those people that work for those enforcement agencies, they telling the woman what to do. You can fight this. You don't have to agree to this. That's how they talk to black women. These white women be running it to them. You can just destroy it. Basically what they say, you can destroy your family. You little ninja girl. Your baby don't need a daddy. Go take him to court and let the courts take his money. And then the kid's starting to grow up. He looking at you like, dang, mama. And we've accepted, well, it ain't my fault because the courts told me. The people told me. Now, if you choose a guy who ain't jumped, that's your choice. You know it. You know where he picked you up at or where you picked him up at. You picked him up in the lowest of lows. And brothers, if you do have a child, especially at this point, and, I'll give you this advice, and you can choose to do what you want. If you have a child and the baby's young, like 6 months or younger, now is the greatest time to go say, hey, I want custody of my child. I want joint custody. I want to be able to write everything you want out on a sheet of paper. Write that shit out. A whole list of stuff. You make 3 copies of that motherfucker. You get 1 for the judge, 1 for the file, 2 or 3 for yourself. Your personal file. Don't even take those into court. Just take the ones you're going to give to the court and leave them there. Here, I got 2 courts for the one, and you tell the judge, here's a copy for you, a copy for the file, and anybody else, the state's attorney, because they bound for get the money. They in there talking about, well, he ain't did it. If the child's 6 months or younger, go and get the joint custody. If you have anything on the mother, and here's the thing, if you live with the mother and you have any address, hey, you got to sort of, this is just trying to keep the ball in your favor, right? You meet a woman and y'all kicking it. She's on Section 8. You know where she is. You know you at the camp. Let's get you some mail there. Get some mail over there. Get you some mail delivered. Hold on to it. And then if anything happens regarding y'all break up and you go your separate ways, try to have a conversation with her. Hey, can I be a part of my son's life? I want to be able to do that. What you mean? Listen, we can do joint custody. I don't pay you, you don't pay me. But our baby can't go without clothes. Our baby can't go without food. Our baby can't go without shelter. Regardless of who you date, he don't talk to my son. My son got a problem in school. Put my name on the visitors list. Put my name on the parent. You ain't got to show up. Put my name there. And if you can make that deal, put that shit in writing. You write it all out, sign it, date it, make sure she signs it and dates it. Make 3 or 4 or 5 copies. Put that shit in your private stash. Hold on to it. 3, 4 years down the road, everything's going fine. You find a new woman, you talking marriage. The worst thing you can do is have a child with this other woman. Worst thing you can do. But again, people get older. People watch what you do, and then people get jealous. And now all of a sudden she wants to go to child support, but still you've already had the joint custody, everything's written up. It's already validated because if it's stamped by the notary republic, then you're good. We had an agreement, blah blah blah, and they'll just start something there. But if you're following like the description of what you agreed upon, like you showing up for PTA, you getting your baby every other weekend, you taking your baby during the Christmas break, times when you off work, outside of a few little days, especially during the week, you can have your adult time, come through because you ain't really committing to nobody. But, you fall in that, man. You document it. Everything you buy for the child, just keep all the receipts. Let it, and anything you write, just everything is for support. Everything is for support of your child. That's it. You keep those records. Decide to go into court, then it's just going to be, well, this is where, and I don't think the courts will really interfere. They'll just try to mediate it, and you're good. You just keep doing what you do. Child will grow up with your voice, with your experience, with your knowledge, smarter than us, maybe look better than us, taller and stronger than us, avoiding some of the pitfalls that a lot of young men and women get caught up in. Beautiful. Teaching them about the future, politics, what to look for, what voices, what will affect them as adults. All of that is a possibility. But as far as fighting back and forth and refusing not to pay, that only puts you in a hole. 20, 30 years down the road, you're still in the same hole. The strongest part of your life. What's up, 907 Goodies? Appreciate you just stopping through. I just appreciate you for sure. Just going over this little new possible history-making election get ready to take place. So, yeah, even, brothers, you have a great opportunity. As again, if you already have a child, start looking into certain statutes and things within your county, your state, so you can get ahead of it. Because things could take a drastic turn on the next 4 to 5 years. And if you don't have any children, I would definitely not have any children. I'm not saying not have your fun. Protect yourself. If you plan on getting married, make a decision on that. Don't waste each other's time. There's some people have their different little understandings of how much time to wait. When both of y'all decide to put all your eggs in the basket, that's the time. I'm not saying, living with someone, but again, if you can stay over somebody's night 3 or 4 nights, somebody's place 3 or 4 nights a week and see how they live. Just switch it up. How much access do you have? If y'all both on that same level of this is what we want. So those things you're going to have to make a decision on, because either party who gets in the office, your lifestyle is going to be affected, whether you're married or single. Single, it's going to be a lot harder to maintain the lifestyle that you're trying to maintain today, and especially if you have children, because the resources are going to be limited. They're going to definitely implement, the program where you have to go to school to receive your link. They're just going to make everybody do that because it's already in play that if you're in college, then you got a work study, then you can have, a link. But you're in college, you're caring about yourself. It's yourself you're worried about. But if you have children, it puts you in a state of almost poverty the whole time you have children. Because even getting money won't supplement the other resources or needs of the children. Let's say you get $600. You have 2 or 3 children. And that's all you got for the month. Children like to eat. Children like to eat at least, you have, let's just say 3. Children like to eat $200 a piece a month. That's just part of their growth. And if you're not cooking, you're going to have to cook more. Make more. You're going to have to produce more food. and I don't know what's up with the modern person. Nobody likes to eat some of these foods the next day. A lot of times, they're the best the next day. Some foods in these sauces and marinades are better after they've sat in the vegetables and the juices of whatever the brew is the next day, 2 days later. But again, old school, yeah, you're going to eat what mama cooked. And my mother could cook. So, wasn't no special, privileges for no kids. Everybody eating the same thing. You just go to bed, stomach growling. But again, different time. This is modern time. Everybody like to think that they flossing and they can buy some shit. They're just buying shit, buying their whole life away. Please take my money and make me poor. So it's going to be a different time. It's going to be a different time. And I think, again, with Trump, it's important for him to come and talk to the African American communities. He's going to have to talk to the communities. Again, not the churches, not the old politicians who all y'all in the same age group. No, go talk to the communities. Offer something that can get these young men's mindset in a different direction. Include the young brother in the fucking rebuild of America. That's how you make America great again. Include that young brother, fucking 18 to 40, regardless of his background. If it's non-violent, or if it was violent and that shit happened when he was 20, he has to have a place too. Because that same guy at 40 could protect the world. He's going to protect his home, his family. But they have to be included in the rebuild. You can't bring in immigrants or anybody else and say, go rebuild America and not include the young African-American male. No, you can't do that. So it has to be something negotiated with the overall uplift of the African-American community. That'll be sort of like reparations in a sense. If you can give everyone an opportunity to train in some capacity. Train. In some capacity, the military has that. But then again, how many young brothers are willing to go stand up for America the way America has been slapping us around for the last 60 years? And by American law, refusing to go into the military is treason. So, and I could be wrong, but it used to be treason, punishable by deletion. So, hey, I don't know, man. So this is a very good time, unique time. I ain't gonna say necessarily it's good because the way others see it, they say it's over. There's no chance, but I think this is a unique time. This is the middle of the road, per se, where we are in America. It's the middle of the road because we have two unorthodox people running for office. First time having an African-American woman. Donald Trump, again, he is who he is. He is who he is. He represents that bureaucrat, aristocrat personality. He can be an a-hole sometime. Yes, he can. But that's what rich guys do. The unique thing about him is he stands at the end of the line when it comes to career politicians who will definitely skim off the top every time. Will definitely skim off the top every time. Trump, I think he has some compassion for the average citizen. I think he would implement some tax breaks, for people can actually, just get a boom, punch the button, restart. I think even with Biden, he tried to do something like that with the student loans. Again, I'm sure America was shocked, especially the career politicians were shocked that he did that. Because there's still time to sort of get your student loans, amended or just taken out for your financial record if you just do the work. You have to do the work. So I don't know. If you have some student loans, you better do it before the end of the year, before the election. Right now, it takes about 2 months or so. So you can get your letter back saying that your student loans have been forgiven. But hey, you pay me, I'll do it for you. But it's going to cost you, depending on how much loan you got. So, but that's just me. No, but that's a way that I think he can really get America's, especially African Americans' attention. How is he going to implement the black male in this rebuild, in this continued rebuild, the strengthening of America? How is he going to do that? And also the families. How is he going to, improve the family, the married people's lives? How's he going to improve that? The infrastructure, again, that's building of the roads and highways and bridges. You see, America needs that done, even with the collapse of the other bridge. That's just part of the whole process. How many young brothers will be on those bridges building them, paving the roads, building these houses? Because in my neighborhood, I don't see any brother. I haven't seen a brother on one roof. And can't nobody tell me they can't do it. And the people that I see, I would, if I was to ask them for their paperwork, I don't know if everybody would have it. However, they still get opportunity for it. How many young brothers are going to have those opportunities, regardless of what their home life is? Because you can take them out of the home life and give them an opportunity. It can even be implemented back into the high schools, where they can create these training facilities for inner city youth, because public education is a waste of time, really. They don't teach you how to write in cursive, which is very helpful. They don't teach you financial literacy. They teach you how to read and fucking wear tutus and be free and choose pronouns. He, she, they. That's weird. That's weird. And over the last 10 years, the education system under Democrats, unique, starting with Obama, they've pushed this LGBTQ lifestyle. A black man get in office and they push in homosexuality. Make that shit make sense. So it's telling the world, yes, black men see, that's what they are anyway. No, it's not even in our DNA. I'm not going to say too much on it, but again, I believe it's all just perpetrated on somebody. Most of these people, from my experience in working with those who have been affected, it was somebody that they family knew. It's the way it is. And so, hey, it's just me. I don't know if you have the proper amount of chromosomes in your birth, then I believe that's who you're going to be. Now, there's going to be crucial times in your development where, again, things could happen. You can be manipulated in some capacity. But again, not going to spend too much on that. So, I think Trump, again, he's in a position that he could win. He could win. But again, he's going to have to talk to the African-American male and African-American families. You don't have to go to no more churches. Just have a gathering. Say you come into a location a week ahead and you speak to those people in these major cities. It could possibly make or break your whole victory. So it's just unique. It's a unique time. Again, first time in, 70, 80 years almost that a president was elected. I don't know if he ran or didn't ran, but he didn't have the presidential office the next 4 years. He ran 4 years, completed that term, didn't have the next 4 years, and then ran again and won again. I think Roosevelt, one of the Roosevelts or something, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, just unique. So he can repeat that. And then on the other side, which is very unique, we have your girl, I don't know if it's Kamala or Kamala. They pronounce it different ways. We have a woman that could be one. She's already made one history. First black female vice president. And now she could possibly be the first black woman or woman of color. I'll say woman of color. That's the word, because I know they're not going to call her black in the news. They're going to say woman of color. I'm trying to tell you, they're going to make it feel right nice and soft. Woman of color. That's what they're going to say, 907. Woman of color. They're not going to, because she, out of her mouth, didn't identify as African American. So that takes it away right there. And now she's going to be a woman of color again. So it softens it up. It makes it soft. And she's going to push agendas a lot different. She's going to push agendas a lot different. Again, ladies and gentlemen, please hit the like, share, subscribe to Trey Ferg at the Player Coach. Hit the like, share, subscribe to Trey Ferg at the Player Coach, ladies and gentlemen. So as we, just move forward to Kamala, it's going to be real interesting with her, But I'll say this first. Just like Trump, she's going to have to talk to the African-American male. She's going to have a conversation because she supported and went around verbally chanting policies of the Democratic Party. Acceptance of the LGBTQ lifestyle. Not accepted. I think they was sort of accepted before, but now it's almost like the enhancement of it are just increased efforts to perpetuate that lifestyle when the rest of the world says no, men be men and women be women. But for us, for some reason, we just having to bring the lifestyle of women can be men and men can be women, which is sort of scary to me. I don't know how most people view it, but for me, it's a little weird. You get pregnant, you birth a son that can carry on your family name, even if let's just say, even if you just have the baby out of wedlock. You have a son that can grow up and be strong, productive, all of these things. And you say, I'm going to defy the hell with God, the hell with Jesus, whichever one whatever. I'm going to make my son a girl. Weird as hell. It's crazy. But again, these are just my opinions. But just that whole mindset. Or you have a girl and you say, I'm going to let her just be, I ain't going to let her not just be, but I think I'm just going to allow her to just give herself and her body freely. That to me is that's even scarier. Because now they're being impacted mentally at a greater deficit almost, because there's incidents where women have actually had to come clean about having these promiscuous sexcapades, and guys have ruptured their insides, and just off the whim because you was feeling good. You wanted to try it. That's weird. And I never understood that. And even with our brothers, it's like, brother, be very careful. And we all, was I good at choosing when I was young? No. Hell no. I ain't gonna say. As I got older, yeah, I got better. And I can say, teenage years, doing too much, moving around in that capacity, yeah, it could be detrimental. Early 20s on both parties, whether you male or female, just being promiscuous, it could definitely impact your life in the worst way. In the worst way. Because I don't think we really look at character at all. Oh, he was cute. She was pretty. She had what I like. You know what I'm saying? But the human nature of us, that's the cannibalism when we just having to just sex without protection. And that's cannibalism because most animals in nature don't use no protection. They just getting it in to reproduce. So if we doing that, then we understand that we're going to reproduce. And it's unfortunate because we don't care. That's never a thought. We're just going to do it. Even the man, even after the fact, man, she should have would. No, you knew what could happen. We can't play dumb. Most of us find out about the birds and the bees shit before we turn teenagers. So you knew what could happen. It's just that I liked her enough and she liked me enough. Or she was just too fine and he was just too handsome and whatever. She had, I don't know. Whatever reasons we choose to indulge, we do it. Now, can we reflect after the fact like, man, I shouldn't have did it like that? Okay, yeah. But again, you knew going into it what could happen. Just my opinion. So, as, we switch over to Kamala, and I'm not worried about, whether she chooses to be, black, white, African, again, Jamaican, whatever she chooses. She looks like me. That's my thing. She looks like me. Now, her mindset could be totally different because I'm with my brothers and sisters all day. However, if she becomes president, or let's just go leading up to the presidency, who is she going to talk to? She's going to talk to both the male and female, black man and black woman, like we teenagers, like we 15 years old, telling us the shit that we already talk about? Is she going to just laugh in our face like, I'm not doing nothing for y'all? Show up in these churches, we need to rally together because they're trying to take our bodies and nobody want to hear that shit. Nobody want to hear that shit because people going to leave church and get it in. That's a waste of voice. They're trying to tell us what we can't do, our body, our choice. Man, okay, we know that. It's always been like that for sisters. Ain't nobody told them what they can't do with their bodies ever. It just comes down to our high number of children born out of wedlock. Is she going to speak to that? Is she going to do that? Or is she going to say, hey, if I make it the presidency, I'm going to cut back on your food stamps? Are you going to tell those truths? Because all that shit going to change. I didn't tell y'all when I was running that the immigrants, they going to start getting these little resources. I didn't tell y'all that. See, that shit ain't going to be talked about. I'm not going to tell y'all we're going to have some more interest rates. It's raining in my neighborhood now. You're not going to be able to buy houses and cars. Everything's going to be overpriced. I didn't tell y'all we're going to lower the supplies in the stores. I know people see going to these stores, grocery store, whatever. Seem like it's just little paper towels. You go to the store, a clothing store. It's like the racks just got enough on there just to be in existence. Then you go in the food stores, then half the shit's not even there. And if it is in the back, that means that the company's not even hiring enough people. But again, do the people really want to go into work? Because it seems like a lot of younger Americans are trying to create other avenues of income. However, that doesn't register on the American economy. It registers as spending, but it's not as contributing. That's why they're trying to, sort of, just even in the monetization of YouTube Spaces and things like that, it's still taxable because they take a percentage. And I read something and was hearing something several months ago, about anything over $600 on YouTube could possibly be taxed. So I'm anxious to see how that plays out. I think that'll go through regardless, because YouTube has a powerful voice. And it's a unique space today that wasn't 20 years ago, 25 years ago, of getting information out in real time. I believe it's going to be quite a few debates in the African American community. And the more you hear these debates, it's going to continue to be split. Both parties, red or blue, they're going to be laughing in our faces. And we're going to be light skinned and dark skinned sad at the end, talking about why they do that, why they didn't do that. Why? Because we too split. We're too split. Nobody wants to work together. And I think that could be a detriment to Kamala, because if she goes in speaking these, promoting the alphabet community more, giving benefits to everyone, that means she's basically saying, you ninjas ain't getting shit. I could be wrong, but hey, I can see this stuff coming. Because she already has a leg up, in a sense, because she ran under those same policies with Biden. Since then, she's been promoting those lifestyles. You see it more. It's more in your face. I've never seen so many big guys. I'm talking about 6'5", 6'6", 230. Well, I ain't gonna say 230. Between 230 and 300, 320, walking around switching. Never seen that shit in my life. It's scary to think that a lot of these guys are working around your daughters and your sons. That shit is scary. And we're talking about both sides being emotional today. Oh man, come on, man. Where is that in the biblical scriptures? Where is that? Where does that lifestyle even measure up in the human mind? So, listen, that's one of my biggest concerns. I see enough children suffering already. I see enough African Americans, male or female, suffering already. And just to say that that's something that I can present to the regular poor black people and get support on that, I can't support that. I can't support that. I can't do it. I do believe that there should be some accountability on both parties. Somebody gets pregnant, hey, both of y'all asses got joint custody. Figure that shit out. If you come back to court, we're going to tax both of y'all. Okay, the baby, oh, what? All right, both of y'all pay $200 a month. We're going to put it in the baby's account. So if y'all can't work it out, we'll do it like that. I think things would change. But again, one party say no, but both parties say no, because even in court, you don't know who's Republican or Democrat. And the Republicans and the Democrats have a picnic and party every year. They have the balls. Those are the ones that be going to the balls, the white, only the black, the white ties. Both parties go to these balls and they talk about it. Ain't no cameras there. Well, they are, but that's over at the photo station, photo booth. They sit out on the balcony smoking their cigars, drinking their yak, sitting at the table. Yes, what do you think about this? Oh, I'm going to block it. Oh, you sure? Yeah. Maybe a little influence. Okay, then talk to me. See me in my office. And they go. We set up a date. Okay, down there on the golf course. What do you think? I don't know, man. I'm not saying that there's bribery, but I'm just saying, if we're in two different parties, and if it's not pertaining to world issues, like, okay, we got to do something about these other countries, then why would we agree or disagree? So you can go both ways, because we both going to agree to keep the poor people poor. We both are going to agree to that. Hold up. Everybody can't get this information. Hold up. Everybody can't get these opportunities. So How do we get around that? And that's why I think, again, Kamala, she can definitely claim her stake if she, one, comes and talks to the African American male and her also the African American family. You know, those family units, husband, wife, children, young adults, those people, those individuals need to be communicated with. And then you have the single population, which is a large number. They need to be communicated with. Men, listen, we want to give you opportunity to get out here into these workforce, but y'all have to go. And we're going to give you an opportunity. And I think every brother would be okay because, again, it's so crazy. America's just so crazy. I'm going to show something really quick. Let me go to studio mode real quick and I'm going to bring something up because I'm just always fascinated by this. And it just, I don't know. So let me bring this up here. So again, since I've gotten this document, I've been amazed by it. Anybody can go check it out. It's the U.S. debt clock, USDEBTCLOCK.org. Type that in. This is what will come up. This is an actual running calculator, clock, whatever, money machine, whatever you look at, about what transactions are being taken place right now from South Beach to Washington State. I don't know, Los Angeles. The U.S. debt currently stands at what? $34 trillion and rising. It's rising so fast you can't even count the numbers. It's already at 300,000, 380, 400,000. That's how fast the debt is moving. Now, each debt per citizen in the United States is 100,000. Look at that. They don't put it on everybody in the country. So just think if they gave everybody $100,000, since the United States is saying you're a part of this debt. The debt per taxpayer, $267,000. See, it changes. See, there's a large population of people who don't pay taxes, the welfare, the disabled, and the welfare and the disabled can be both. And that's a nice little number. So when you put it on every citizen, it's 103,000. But for the taxpayers, the average debt connected to the United States is 267,000. So very unique. The federal spending over $6 trillion. Medicare, Medicaid, again, monies that are being transacted. The interest paid, again, over $4 trillion in interest. The U.S. total debt. Hold on, what was this number up here? The national debt. Okay, so I was reading it wrong. So there's the national debt, and then you have the U.S. total debt. Oh, okay. So the national debt is $34 trillion, and the U.S. total debt is $101 trillion. That's how much money we owe to other countries. Make it make sense, please. Can somebody please make it make sense? Come on now, help me out. Make it make sense now. Make it make sense. It doesn't make sense to me, but maybe somebody can help me. So, again, the national debt, debt per citizen, debt per taxpayer, the U.S. federal debt spending, federal budget deficit, the actual spending, again, they spend $6 trillion a year. And we'll go over here to the U.S. revenue, tax revenue. You have over $4 trillion revenue per citizen, $14,000. Anybody made $14,000? Income tax revenue over $2 trillion. Again, it's very unique, very, very unique. So, state debt, $1 trillion. Debt per citizen is $3,907. So right now, your average debt is $3,000. But again, these are just numbers that are here for us to take a look at, and they are actually calculating as I'm speaking. You got your Medicaid debt, Social Security being paid out. How much? Now these are largest budget items. See, these are the top 4 budgets, and this is unique. Medicaid, Medicare usually always get the most. They always get the most. So if you're working in the health field, yes, health field, people are always going to be passing away. So they're always going to implement and have the resources for that. Social Security, a little bit higher. The defense, in the billions, right? The problem is, outside of those wars, that number could probably be cut in half. We've budgeted billions of dollars to other countries. One country in the combat with Russia, the Ukraine, and now they're funding the Israelis or Israelis against the Palestinians, whichever one. I don't pay attention to it because they're going to do what they want to do with that. But I do pay attention to, how America moves within that. So it's almost like two-face, screw face. You say in one hand war is not right, but in the other you're funding. It makes no sense. So again, then you're talking about the interest paid, the U.S. interest paid, interest per adult, $17,000 here. Again, the total debt, the bank interest received, how much interest banks receive. Then you got the U.S. Treasury in dollars. U.S. debt held by foreign countries, over $8 trillion. Trade deficit, again, trillions. Trade deficit to China, the billions. How much oil they spending in the billions of dollars. Small business assets. Corporate assets, household assets. Would like to challenge this one. Total national assets here. Currency. I'm going to show a little bit more of this. So it's just again, I don't know what to say, regarding how the U.S. is going to be operating over the next several years, but I do know that this presidency is going to really, really impact this next election. And, I'm just anxious to see how it plays out. I'm anxious to see how it plays out. I would hope that most Americans can survive it. I really do. I hope most Americans can survive the actual landslide of it. Just trying to show this. Let's see. Just gotta make it. And you see the U.S. bankruptcies here. So again, it's a very, very, unique document that you can look at on a daily basis because it talks about the spending that's taking place in America right now. The U.S. millionaires, the average salary for a United States millionaire is $23 million. $23 million. Well, okay, yes. So for the millionaires, the average salary is $23 million. For the top 1%, remember, America's always been divided by wealth, as the top 1% having 95% of the wealth, and the rest of us have 1%, or 5%. That means the middle class, which basically almost wiped out, and the lower class. So, yes, that top 1%, they were averaging 18 million, excuse me. That top 1%, they average $18 million a year. And the average U.S. citizen below them averages $37,000. You can put $37,000 into the $80,097. How many times? 2 times at least, 2.5 times. You would take that. If you can make $80,000 of the 1%'s wealth, add it on to your $37,000, that'll be a nice living. Because remember, President Obama went to ask for 1 penny and they told him no, because they already had an agenda to not allow him to help the poor. So what he do in turn? He said, I'm going to help the LGBTQ. Makes it a whole lot of difference. Now, again, very unique document. Okay, the median income in 2000. This is amazing me how people talk about, everybody has the bag. But the average American together, black or white, everybody mixed in 2000 made $31,000. We remember that bottom 50% here, and the median income for everybody is $31,000 in 2000. Now, 24 years later, the median income is $8,000. It's risen over $8,000, but to $39,000. So not a lot of increase in salary, but there's been a lot of increase in debt. The average home at that time in 2000 was $165,000 a year. The average home was $165,000 per year. Right? So you bring that into play. Today, the average home is $408,000 per year. And they don't even give you refrigerators. So, again, you don't even get refrigerators in newly built homes. Again, the average car in 2000 is $22,000. Now the average car, brand new car, is $48,000. That car costs more, of course, than your income. So it's $10,000 more than your income. Look at the home prices. You think you can afford a home by yourself with the average income $39,000? After taxes, say 33? Divide that by 12, divide that by 2 every 2 weeks. That's what you bring home. Well, the way I do it is I take the salary, say 39,000, multiply that by 0.20. That'll be all my taxes, and the rest is what I'll bring home. That's how I usually do it. Sometimes, I go 20% just because you got your federal, your FICA, you got your metal, all that. So, I don't know. So you gonna bring home roughly $1,200 every 2 weeks, $1,300. Can you support a mortgage with that? Because again, the new home prices is $400,000. Average mortgage is about $3,000 without any benefit, a little over $3,000. especially on a $408,000 home. Your mortgage is going to be well over $3,000. So average new car 20 years ago, 22,000. Today, 48,000. College tuition 20 years ago, 10,772. Today, 26,000. Almost 3 times higher. 26,000. Again, you need $10,000 to $12,000 more than you needed 20 years ago. Even 5 years ago, these numbers have risen so much like that in the last 5 years. And that's what's scary about it. In the last 5 years, these things have happened. So again, this is very unique. And I like looking at this because it's changing daily. And this is where we are with our upcoming election, because all of these numbers are going to change for the better or the worse. Again, let's just say you have, and again, some of these numbers, again, the healthcare costs compared to 2000 today is 3 times more. You're paying high ass insurances. I understand. Official unemployment is only 6 million. Actual unemployed, 13 million. See how these numbers seem confusing? They say official, but actual, meaning you could probably work a job every 6 months and be on and off unemployment. That's what the poor white people do. They're going to work these seasonal jobs, and after that, they can get unemployment. So those seasonal jobs, like you see people on those fishing boats, hell, those jobs pay $100,000. And then when they ain't in season, they can be getting a high-ass unemployment based off their income. So they can still be getting 4 or 5 racks every 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks. So again, it's all a part of the process of living in America. And I don't think a lot of people pay attention to it. And now you look at silver compared to 11 years ago, it was $2.70 per ounce. So if I had $20, I could get 10 ounces, say $30, I can get 10 ounces of silver. 10 ounces. 10 ounces of silver. Let me see. Let's just say 10 ounces of silver for $2.70. Now, in it's in 1913. So 100 years later, pretty much. Not even 100 years. 100 some years later. Today, ounce costs $265 per ounce. So if I have $1,000, I can get roughly four ounces. Maybe a little less, 3.5, 4 ounces. So if I have 4 ounces of silver today, in 5 years, each ounce is going to be worth $1,500. At least $1,500. I want to, excuse me for there's, like I said, a rainstorm going over and it's thunder and lightning. So hopefully my signal is okay. But in 5 years, you take $1,000, invest in 4 ounces of silver. In 5 years, you could have $1,500 per ounce. So roughly about $7,000 to $8,000. Risky investment? No. Precious metals have always been into play as far as financially since mankind has always documented currency. Gold, silver, diamonds, rubies. They've always been in play. That's why they valued so high. And if you have a little, nest egg and you want to invest, it wouldn't hurt you to invest in some pure silver. The dividend will pay off. So just the difference in price. So again, even with the gold purchase in 1913, $26.97 per ounce. Dollar to gold ratio in 10 years. It's going to be it went to about 9,000 today, but gold's per ounce today is $1,936 per ounce. So if I have, again, let's just say 10,000, I can get me 5 ounces of gold for 10,000. Right now, in 5 years, each ounce will be worth $12,591 per ounce. So I spend 10 today, I'll get back a little over 60, 61, 62 in 5 years with that same 10. So off the top, you made $50,000. $50,000. Now, if you do happen to purchase some gold or silver, make sure it's verified. Make sure it goes through all the right steps to make sure it's verified. Any document they give you as far as numbers, you call those numbers in because everything is registered. Make sure everything is on the up and up, that you're not getting cheated. You don't give no money until you get cash on delivery, the barter system. And anybody that's questioning why you're doing certain things to investigate, back out of the deal. It's a raw deal. You're going to lose money. However, if you have that luxury in your life right now financially, again, $10,000, especially if you have 20, you can take 10 and just invest in some gold or silver. Gold, you know you're going to get back $12,000 per ounce. So you're going to make roughly a little over $10,000, or close to $10,000 per ounce extra. So if you got 5, close to 10, you're going to get 50. Take another 5, put it back, take the other 5, 10, put it back, invest some more. And also, so you invest some more, then you get another 50, 60, because with inflation, the value of it still goes up. The dollar goes down with inflation, but precious metals go up. So you're looking at another 50, 60, $100,000 in a 10-year period. Perfect. You're older, you're wiser, you're ready to pay off your cars, your children are ready to go to college or military, trade school, something. Just get them the hell out your house. They can come back for Thanksgiving and Christmas and the good holidays. Bring you presents. But we have to teach them to get out of the house. And, just with these numbers, the president is going to be attached to these numbers. Yeah, the president is going to be attached to these numbers. Because they could drastically change. It could really, really put us at a deficit. It really could put us at a deficit. I promise you. And it's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. So here we are. It's an election year, 2024. Again, I hope that my girl, well, I ain't gonna call her my girl, but Kamala, she's in a very unique situation. She's going to have to come and talk to the African-American male and the family and the sisters too. Because, there's a lot of voices going around, especially sisters saying that they're not supporting her. And that could put her in a unique situation because my experience, again, only my views of no one else. I don't see, and I've never seen it, tell me if I'm wrong if y'all see it, where people of power will allow a woman, and when I say power, meaning if you're in the government, if you're in those political offices, those offices that can change laws and influence America, I don't see those individuals allowing a woman, particularly a black woman, to tell them what to do. I don't see it. I could be totally wrong. But again, I do not see it. And it could be that if she gets into this position, they could use her to set the African American people up for the okie doke. Meaning she's going to go off of these liberated behaviors. She's going to go and use these my body, equal, just something like my body, my choice. She's going to allow these unfortunate certain lifestyles to just really be a part of who we are. And it could be detrimental. It could be detrimental, believe me. And I would hate to see the African American people get played by somebody that looks like us. That would be, it's like, I don't know what level of pain that would inflict. Because I truly believe that although she is the president, and this is where I think sisters don't really see the picture, her husband is going to have a very great influence on what she says and how she moves, how she creates opportunity for the poor people. Her husband is going to have a great deal. Don't get it twisted. And the crazy part is, just be going into her background. Women say they don't really want a guy with kids if they don't have no kids, but she married a white guy that has 2 kids. Talking about this a great family. Was she just playing that role, or does she truly believe it? Because she doesn't identify as a sister. So that's look, when I see stuff like that, I could be totally off. Maybe I'm thinking too much about it, but that's what I see. Sisters say they don't want a man with kids. They don't have no kids. But the highest lady in the lady in the highest office say, fuck that. And not only will I be a baby mama, I'm going to be it to a white man. Ooh, scary. So y'all sisters, I'm not like y'all. What's that song? They not like us. You don't think she ever said that? I'm not like them. I'm not like them. So, I'm interested to see how it plays out over at least the next 90 days or so. I believe they're going to have a debate coming up soon, and it's going to be interesting to see what policies both parties push out. Again, both are going to have to talk to the African American male. And as far as us males, it's a great time for us to come up with something that we can ask for, especially the young man. Y'all 21 to 41. Over the last 15, 20 years, a lot of y'all been in and out of these systems, not getting the resources y'all needed to sort of get over some of the trauma that y'all may have experienced, whether you was out on the streets, whether you was inside. And it's been although the numbers always appear to be like 1 million this year, 1 million next year, and the year after, you got to think about it. It's been going on for 30 years, a little over 30. Well, it's always happened as far as policing of the black male. But the numbers have been really high over the last 30 years. But if it's only 40 million of us, so whether it would be 600,000, you multiply that by 30, 800,000, multiply that by 30, not including the brothers who are no longer with us based off that lifestyle. Brothers still getting placed in penitentiary, that lifestyle. So what changes are going to be made for us in the penal system? Why are we still experiencing, deletions of regular citizens by those who are supposed to protect? Where you at now? Where's your voice? I see the women have come out now and I don't think women are going to see the big picture. If this guy can come into your home while you're looking for protection and you have no man there to protect you, any guy can come into your home. Any guy can come into your home. I would say, try to make a deal in some capacity. I don't know. I would, again, when I think about stuff, I just don't think that brothers are that bad where we're just out here just won't, give a damn at all. I don't think it's that bad. I think brothers are looking for a reason to protect the woman. I really do. But you can't slap us in the face, beat us down, and then say, come help me. It doesn't work like that. Y'all know that. You can't talk about your brothers and your cousins, say they ain't shit, and then say, come help. It doesn't work like that. And that's why I think we have a unique space. We have a unique time in America. We could really, really propel ourselves to a high level of financial stability, high level of, just thinking, home ownership, employment. A lot of these things could really be in our favor, but we're going to have to find a way to stick together. Kamala, again, it's still up in the air about her. I'd like to see what policy she run on. Hopefully it's not just the same LGBTQ, free your body and all that. No, that ain't, I ain't gonna lie. Black people, we've been in this society for a long, this culture, because I don't identify with culture. That's, to me, it's elementary, because most people of color don't understand culture at all. They understand their lifestyle, but not culture. So, and my lifestyle don't align with a lot of people. It just doesn't. I don't care what, it's not like, I never would think that I'm better than somebody, but as far as the way other people live, I just wouldn't want to be a part of it at all. You live in a certain way and you thriving in that way, and you ain't putting down people and dismissing others, then you good. I'm all for that. But no, I believe every man needs to hold a shovel in their hand. That's how I believe protection should be evened out. Every man needs a shovel. Every man. You want to eat, you go dig, go climb, go put together, go produce. That's how you eat. Everybody earn their keep. Every female, you have to earn your keep. Work hard, whatever it is. I don't understand sisters anyway. We the most creative, and nobody wants to make shit. Everybody wants to buy shit. That's why I say salute to my girl 907. Because one, she cooks. She cooks. So I'm just, surprised about, a lot that goes on with us. And so, again, I'm neither for nor against Kamala Harris. I'm neither for nor against Donald Trump. Both of them are basically going to be the crabs in the bucket, because will any of those candidates speak to the people of color? Will they speak to the African American male? Will they speak to the African American family? Kamala, I know she's going to talk to the women. She's going to spend a lot of time talking to women. One second. So, I'm just going to be watching out for this upcoming election. I'm watching the debates. I'm going to pay really close attention to the debates. Excuse me. And just, make my decision, off of that. That's who we have to choose from. It's unfortunate. However, some things have to change and need to change and must change for anyone that look like me to have an opportunity going into the future. I'm sure everybody, despite what they say, want their children to grow old, have a life of abundance. So, again, I don't speak as a Democrat. I don't speak as a Republican. I don't know what the others are, liberal, conservative, whatever. No, I just come as a black man who was told by somebody of the, I guess, the opposite race telling me that they can lock me up just because. So I come from that angle. I'm not looking to gain anything from speaking my views and my mind and my opinions. I'm just going by what I've seen since my adult life has been taking place on this earth. And again, it's a lot going on within America. I hope that we could get to a better place as people. Hopefully we can find a way to come up with one voice, one agenda that's going to benefit both sides. And after that, we can go back to, fighting amongst ourselves. But this next election is going to be very important to us all. And again, this is just my views on it. I don't expect people to believe me or not. I have no thought whatsoever whether people believe me, because I just wanted to get the information out there. I'm no politician. However, I see what's going on in the world. I've been blessed in this world that I've lived in. So, again, it's just the way I see it. I'm not trying to persuade anybody any particular way. We just have to look at the reality of what things are and the issues that are going to be presented moving forward and how we can remedy those issues. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, just hit the like, share, subscribe to Trey Ferguson, the Player Coach. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like, share, subscribe to Trey Ferguson, the Player Coach. Ladies and gentlemen. And so that's all I have today. I appreciate everybody that stopped by. I saw in the chat it was 907 Good Eats. Who else stopped by? Because I don't know what's going on. Intellectual Soapbox, appreciate you, brother. Yeah, I'll just, again, we can make a change, but the time is now. So with that, salute to all my content creators. Praise up to all of y'all, man. Y'all stay safe. Those of y'all that are bickering and fighting, hopefully y'all can find a way to sort of come up with a resolution. We gain nothing by talking about each other. We gain nothing by fighting. Everything about our future is at stake today. So again, man, I appreciate y'all stopping by. My brother Soulbox, Sister 907 Good East. Again, I thank you all. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Trey Ferguson, the Player Coach, and good night.